Welcome to Panda Head Studios. Today we are talking about Jujutsu Kaisen episode 21, Jujutsu Koshien.
This episode feels like the last 3 pages of the previous episode that ran just a little too far. It starts with explaining the curse's motivations and their actions while the attack was going on against the students. And then the next half of and then there's a little piece where you get like some exposition from the teacher about and the principals and what they understand the situation, whether they want to reveal to the kids or not. And then the rest of the episode, which is like at least more than half, or at least half the episode, is just a baseball game that they don't even finish.
Not on screen.
Yes, they show you 3 like hits and it's over.
Yeah. So. For the beginning, I gotta say though, like my favorite thing about that, outside of the fact that we learned so much about what they're doing, is one. It's actually 2 things. One, we learn exactly what Mahito stole, which, as we suspected from the get-go, was the 6 Sukuna fingers that Jujutsu Tech is holding. But they also stole a cursed object called Cursed Womb paintings. Which we don't know anything about yet. I'm really excited what that's for, because they obviously went out of their way to take it.
Yeah.
But the other thing I really enjoyed is we see that Haname is still alive, but badly wounded, like missing I think it's like the left side of the majority of his upper torso and like his left arm and everything.
And can't even defend himself.
Can't defend himself. And actually, one of the cursed users we saw, the one with the sword, it like is talking about like potentially killing him, putting him out of his misery, and
in a
very psychotic way. And Mahito's like, "Yeah, you're a cursed user. Don't get ahead of yourself." And Mahito is like helping Hanami get up and get back to wherever they're hiding out. And Hanami's talking, and I love it because Hanami is talking about how much it was like how painful it is to like restrain itself from its rage. And I think that's really interesting because like even in the prior episode, the last 2 episodes, the Hanami sort of mentioned how much it's starting to enjoy fighting against Todo and Itadori. And as we sort of learned about Hanami, we realized that like Hanami is technically a curse. It wants people to die, but that's it. Like it doesn't from what we've learned about Hanami's character, it doesn't enjoy killing. It doesn't revel in it the way we've seen Mahito or Cursed Womb or the curse from like episode 2 or 3 when we met Nobara. Like those curses, they enjoy the killing. They enjoy the act of torturing their victims. Hanami just wants them to die. That's it. Get rid of humans. But now Hanami's starting to take on a bit more of its, as Mahito puts it, like true nature and truly being a curse. So I'm really excited for when Hanami comes back, because it means Hanami's going to come back and out of the gate be a lot more violent, and I'm excited for where that's going to be
and what that's going to mean. Domain much quicker.
Oh, I hope so. I'd love to see his domain. Gojo's was fun. Satoru's was great.
Even Jugo's was neat.
Jugo's was great. Itadori's or not Itadori technically. Sukuna. I love Sukuna's, but I'm so excited.
That's how I imagine my personal throne room.
Yeah. And then for me, the next really like standout scene is actually when Satoru is talking to the students about the aftermath of everything, and he's talking to them about potentially like canceling the exchange event because of what happened. And it makes sense to talk about that. Like, and I mean, the principals and all the teachers were talking about it, and they're like, oh, we should just cancel. And Satoru's like, but that's not our choice. But that's Satoru. Like, he's an oddball character. He always wants to go against the grain.
Well, and he just likes meth and playing pranks.
Yeah, he is. And we actually really get to see it in this one. His prank in this, because while he's talking to them, Todo speaks up and has this really amazing speech. It comes across that for Todo, the fact that they died is unfortunate, but it's not the students' place to make use of their death for their own purposes. Like, they don't know them. They don't have a right to grieve. They don't have a right to step on the family members or the friends of those people's grief. And I like that. It makes sense. I know it seems like it comes across a little cold, but it's also not wrong.
I enjoyed his speech. It would have. That's like, I'm not. I'm kind of indifferent on it, where it's just like, yeah, you want a moment of silence? I'll shut up for 5 seconds. You want to go play a baseball game?
Yeah.
Let's play baseball. Like, whatever y'all want to do. I'm not a traditional person, so I'm a bad. But like, the speech was, it felt very powerful, even though I had no emotional, like, nothing emotionally inspired me, but I definitely got it still had that impact. Like, I could feel something and recognize what it was.
Yeah, it still had meaning to it.
And it sounded good, and it was very passionate and delivered very well, and it was good.
Which I kind of like people's comments, because a couple of people comment, like, how did he make such a good point?
Well, and it just shows that Toto is, I mean, he's as much crazy as he is, like, super intelligent, and, like, and his... I love that about it's just more on to Toto, and then the baseball game. That's like the only other memorable part to me is part of the baseball game is just these little things that are funny. Where Mekamaru is a pitching machine, and he's their pitcher, and then the little girl.
I gotta say real quick, all it looks like they did is that they pulled the pitching machine out to the pitcher's mound. And put Mekamaru's face at, like, a picture of Mekamaru's face, like a little hand-drawn thing or something.
A colored pencil drawing of
it. And then called it Mekamaru and walked away.
Yeah.
Like, it really looks like, I don't think Mekamaru is actually, I think it's literally just a pitching machine.
He might also have the power to possess machines and stuff.
But they really set it up to look like it's just a pitching machine that happens to have his picture.
I actually didn't even think of that. I'll admit, I didn't think. I was like, oh, you can possess a pitching machine, whatever. I just wrote it off because I had already checked out when they're like, we're playing baseball. I'm like,
fair enough.
Whatever. They're wasting half this episode.
Yeah.
With absolutely nothing of value and no character development, no fun dialogue, nothing. It's just silly things.
Not super fun dialogue. Not the way that they've done in the past. There's a couple moments that are.
And the only other part of the baseball game that is absolutely hysterical is the Tokyo school purposely beans Toto in the face when he's up to bat.
Yeah.
And Itadori's playing catcher and catches Toto and like has like this romantic movie. No, we're best friends. And throughout the whole episode before that, Toto had been chasing Itadori around, and Itadori is basically saying that they're close friends, but he needs some space.
Yeah, the Toto's getting like, this is too much. Yeah. And then what I really found funny about that is, outside of the Itadori doing the romantic scene, is the fact that everyone is telling Mai, nice pitch.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, all the other Tokyo students, they expect
and Kyoto. That's the thing. And Kyoto students are like, nice pitch.
Because they show like the shot where he does, it's like an anime baseball pitch where the guy like does that like overextended and fires a rocket at the guy, just clobbers Toto. I was kind of hoping that it was just going to hit Toto in the face, and he was just going to be like, and then go dust it off. Because he can take a Hanami, punch the face, but a baseball. So curses just need to start throwing baseballs at Toto.
Yeah.
Like, but that's why
we found his weakness, though. Yeah. We found Toto's weakness.
Baseball's going 90 miles an hour.
Yeah. Whatever it does it.
But that's pretty much everything that this episode really has.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Yeah, same here. Then they wrap up the school event. Like, that's really the only other thing, is this technically wraps up the school event. Tokyo
wins by 2-0.
But yeah, that's going to be all. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
So, we hope you enjoyed that. If you did, let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this episode. And while you're there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon.
If you're interested in joining us gaming, check us out on Twitch. And for updates, follow us on Twitter. The links are in the description down below.